Hello, I'm Richard Westerby for Ivy Fertility, and today we have the amazing Dr. Jackie Ho from the Reproductive Partners Medical Group. Welcome.
Thank you.
Today, one of the things I'd like to talk to you about is navigating your fertility options and what options are available. When do you know what to do? So can you maybe start talking to us a little bit about that?
Sure. So when I'm sitting down with a couple, usually I will have them start by telling me their story, including how long they've been trying for, and it includes what their family building goals are. So some people have been trying for several years. They're a little bit older. They do want a larger family. Some people, it's a little, everyone's a little bit different. So we start with a very thorough history and assess, what the different issues might be that are preventing them from getting pregnant. And usually I'll do a pretty thorough workup of everything because there's not only one thing necessarily that may be causing infertility. It could be several things. So I'll assess for example, for the female partner, we'll assess, does she get regular periods? Is she even ovulating? If not, we can do testing to see, what's the issue? Is there a reason why you're not ovulating or getting regular cycles? There's also the issue of the tubes being open. So to get pregnant, the egg and sperm need to meet in the fallopian tube, which is the structure that's connected to the uterus. So we can do tests for that to see if there's any blockages. And the last major thing we look for is for the male partner, and we check the sperm. So are there any issues surrounding sperm? Are the numbers low? Are there any lifestyle or other factors that are contributing to that? And based on the findings of all the different testing, I was going to add, and so we also sometimes will do uterine testing to see if there are anything that is potentially impacting their ability to get pregnant, like several fibroids or adenomyosis or any other sort of issues that could be preventing pregnancy or leading to pregnancy loss or whatever the couple's experiencing. And usually we'll synthesize all that information after we get all the testing and come up with a treatment plan that addresses the particular issues, as well as options. I usually come up with a few different options depending on their situation. And keeping in mind the ideal number of children the couple would like to have. Because, say someone is, a little bit older, say the female partner is a little bit older and, say their egg supply is a little lower and they do want a larger family, more than one kid. And sometimes we'll say, hey, look, I think IVF is the best option to give you that. So that, when we get you pregnant with baby number 1, you have embryos left over to get pregnant with baby number 2 on your timeline.
So when you go through IVF, you are creating more than one embryo.
Typically, that's the case. So for IVF, that treatment involves stimulating a woman's ovaries with medications. And ideally, you're getting multiple eggs, fertilizing them all with sperm, and then finding and creating multiple embryos. And in many cases, finding normal embryos so that we can transfer usually one back to the uterus to get pregnant.
And what do you do with the leftover embryos?
With the leftover embryos, we have the ability to freeze them or cryopreserve them. And that keeps them in a state and they're basically usable for a long period of time. So say someone gets pregnant with an embryo transfer and they want to come back a couple of years later for another baby, all we need to do is thaw the embryo and transfer it to the uterus. So
wow.
It's a lot simpler.
And how long can they stay frozen?
For an indefinite period of time, which is like the benefit of our technology. It's really exciting.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So a patient walks in, you sit down, you do a whole workup with them, and then you outline what their options are. So we've spoken about IVF. What other options could there be?
So there's also intrauterine insemination. That's basically usually if someone's ovulating, their tubes are open, the sperm is like pretty good or even just a little bit low, we can do ovarian stimulation, meaning where we give a woman a medication to help ovulate more than one egg and then put sperm in the uterus on the day of ovulation. So basically when they're ovulating, when a woman's ovulating, we'll get a fresh sperm sample, we'll wash it, and we have a little catheter we use to inject the sperm directly into the uterus. So that's making everything a little more efficient, getting everything closer together.
So the old-fashioned turkey-based method with a
in a way, a little more advanced, but yes, in a way. Yeah.
And that puts the sperm directly into the fallopian tubes?
It puts the sperm at the top of the uterus, and so it can more quickly go to the fallopian tube, and a higher concentration of motile sperm can get to that point.
Okay, so you've got intrauterine insemination or IUI, you have IVF, and then what happens if, for example, the egg or the sperm quality isn't great? What are the options then?
So if we, in the workup or during treatment, we try, cycles and we discover that there's a significant either egg quality issue or sperm quality issue, then sometimes we'll have conversations about egg or sperm donation.
Realistically, you're saying, okay, you don't have eggs, we can find you eggs. You don't have sperm, we can find you sperm
Exactly.
to get to your family building goal.
Exactly.
That's amazing. I think the wonders of technology, it's crazy, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes. And not everybody's open to this, but I think many people are. And, we kind of talk about, you're still, many people are still able to like experience parenthood in a way that's exactly the same as everybody else, regardless of whether it was your or egg or sperm. And many people become successful, become parents successfully through this.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.